Star Wars 7x7 episode 2139. Today we're going to talk about those Temuera Morrison Boba Fett rumors for The Mandalorian Season 2 because it's not quite adding up the way that it's being told to us so far. So let's explain. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, on Friday, Hollywood Reporter broke the rumor that Temuera Morrison would be returning to Star Wars, that he would be playing the role of Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 2. This is what the headline gave us, and the other trades, Variety and Deadline Hollywood, followed up and checked with their own sources, and were hearing the same thing, so they ran their own stories. That is the baseline of what we know so far. However, if you read into the Hollywood Reporter story a little bit further down, it says that Temuera Morrison is going to be on The Mandalorian, so that much is established from them. The story says that while their sources are saying he's playing Boba Fett, it's always possible that something funny involving clones could be going on. That's the rough paraphrase there. So, yeah, that does open an interesting door, doesn't it? Because Temuera Morrison played all the adult clones in Attack of the Clones, and so he could be playing a clone in The Mandalorian Season 2. There's no information about that from quote-unquote official sources, but there is another source, Jordan, Maison, I'm sorry, hopefully, Jordan, I'm pronouncing your name right, from Cinelinx, is saying that he has heard from his sources that Temuera Morrison isn't just going to be playing Boba Fett, that there will be other character or characters that he'll be playing too. But that's a blink and you'll miss it thing on his own Twitter feed. It's not on Cinelinx's website. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And my own source of a source actually reached out to me and was able to confirm the Boba Fett appearance news, but not necessarily whether Temuera Morrison is going to be playing Boba Fett. That's neither a confirmation or a denial, just only being able to say that hearing in the Hollywood Reporter that Boba Fett is going to be in The Mandalorian Season 2, yes, that's what I am also hearing on my end of things. So let's talk first about the notion of Boba Fett appearing. Yes, it seems like that was what was teased in The Mandalorian, and the fact that we heard the spurs that jangle, jingle, jangle at the end of Episode 5, The Gunslinger. Those sounds are definitely associated with Boba Fett, but they are also associated with another bounty hunter, Cad Bane, who up until this point has only appeared in the animation. That's the farthest that he's gotten up the ladder in the Clone Wars. So, certainly that could be an interesting and intriguing possibility that he might show up. But yeah, I think we're probably leaning toward Boba Fett, even though it seems like he died in Return of the Jedi. But if Darth Maul can come back, then for pity's sake, so can Boba Fett, right? So Boba Fett, or someone in his armor who may or may not be the original Boba Fett. Who knows? I'm going to circle back around to that in a moment, but I want to talk about Temuera Morrison. And the fact that Jordan Maison is saying that he's heard that Boba Fett is not the only role that Temuera Morrison would play, well, strongly implies a clone, and considering that we have had those rumors of Rosario Dawson, I guess I was going to say Rodario Sawson for some reason, but Rosario Dawson appearing in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, well, Captain Rex would be a likely cohort of hers for that particular situation. And as we know, Captain Rex did survive the events of the Battle of Endor. He is supposedly the person who is pictured, the very grizzled veteran who is part of the Spec Force Pathfinders on Endor. And so he actually participated in the Battle of Endor. At least this is Dave Filoni's canon. I don't know if this has been, officially confirmed necessarily, but yes, he is supposed to be alive as far as we know, and Dave Filoni's not one for off-screen deaths. So if Rex is still, alive and kicking, then it's, certainly possible we'll see him on The Mandalorian. We probably wouldn't find out, no, he already died by then, because then everybody would be up in arms and be like, what? How did he die? And then that would lead to a whole raft of other issues. But here's the thing that I wanted to share with you. As far as Temuera Morrison and Boba Fett go, okay, so Boba Fett I'm hearing for sure. Hollywood trades are reporting for sure. Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett is being reported. I'm not necessarily hearing that, but this is the idea that I wanted to play with you. If it is the case, as Jordan says, that maybe he's playing someone else, isn't it possible that Temuera Morrison could be playing Captain Rex and someone else could be in the Boba Fett armor? Made me wonder what Daniel Logan is up to right now. And Daniel Logan, as you'll recall, played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, and he has also done the voice of Boba Fett in the Clone Wars cartoon series as well. So I went rolling through Daniel Logan's Twitter feed, and there are not any obvious situations in there, but I will say that he has been actively retweeting stuff related to The Mandalorian, which, having played Boba Fett, makes sense. You can't necessarily read anything into that, but there was a post in January of 2020 where he had a brief video of Temuera Morrison saying, pack your bags, we're going, and it's a contemporary video, and he says in the tweet, if Jango said, pack your bags, would you go with him? So this would be around the time that The Mandalorian Season 2 was filming. So, I don't know. And the video is shot in what looks to be an open field, and there are a few cars in the background. There's a house way, way in the background. So it's hard to know what could be real or not real. We do know that The Mandalorian was shot not, in locations. It was shot in the volume, that soundstage, LED lighted background screens, virtual environment situation. So yeah, I don't know. That could just be the grassy parking lot outside the studio or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point. But Daniel Logan has been, very active and involved on Twitter, and the fact that he was tweeting about great news for Season 2 of The Mandalorian being renewed when Jon Favreau tweeted that photo of the Gamorrean statue, the, svelte Gamorrean, and there was a, some reply about, people read into this, and he says, yeah, I know, that's part of the fun of the speculation of things, and sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not, and gosh, every time somebody says something like that, I feel like there's something to it. Like, I saw a tweet recently for somebody saying, hey, Kevin Scott, will there ever be a sequel to Dooku Jedi Lost? And he tweeted back, start the petition. And so to me, that sounds like, no, there aren't any plans for the time being, but he's interested in doing it if anybody wants him to do it. Daniel Logan's response, I think, definitely leaves something to the imagination. So would love to hear what you think. If it's possible that it'll be Temuera Morrison as a clone and Daniel Logan as Boba Fett, I think that would be pretty fascinating. Tell me what you think. And that, my friends, is going to do it for our look at this Boba Fett Temuera Morrison news. That's going to do it for this episode of the show as well. Thank you so much for joining me for it. As always, if you're not subscribing for free to the show on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Google or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you catch it, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe for free, so that way you never have to think about it. It's in your feed right there for you. Thank you again, and may the curve be flattening for you, wherever in the world you may be.
This podcast is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other related Star Wars items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the force be with them. All original content is copyright 2019 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.